if you had to pick if you were going into a hardcore, hardscape throwdown fist fight, and you had to pick your team, and you can only pick one. Okay, this is a fist fight. These people are going toe to toe. You're going to put these people behind you, and you're going into LO Congress to do battle in the BattleBot live stage. You can either take the Buggy fanboys or the Tilt Rotator fanboys. Who are you taking?
Is it even a question? Obviously, you're going to take the Tilt Rotator guys.
You think Tilt Rotator fanboys can beat up Buggy fanboys?
Beat up? This is an actual
this is a fight. It's a fist fight.
Is there preparation for this, or does this just erupt? Like, is there time before this that people have to prepare themselves for this fight, or does this fight just erupt?
You're going into LO Congress and you need backup because you don't know what's going to happen in there. You're not 100% sure what's going to go down, but you know there's going to be trouble.
Yeah,
so you got to have some people backing you up. You got to have some people with you. Do you take Buggy fanboys with you? Who's tougher, Buggy fanboys or Tilt Rotator fanboys? Who's tougher?
Buggy guys have to be a little. Oh, fuck. They're going to get in trouble. They have to be a little dumber.
Why? I have a buggy. Fuck
because
you.
They're out there in the elements riding a fucking uncomfortable buggy up and down a laneway all day. That's
fair enough. The buggy destroyed my body for a day.
Yeah, exactly. The Tilt Rotator guys are nice.
That makes me. You know why I take Buggy fanboys for that exact reason, because Tilt Rotator fanboys are soft.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Soft as fuck in their heated cabs, not having to do anything.
Yeah, they don't have to get out.
I'll take a Buggy boy any day of the week. That guy's got his frostbite. Again, that tree branch hit him in the face, sliced him open, got a scar because he has no protection. And he's thinking, remember that time he smashed his head off the low gate rail on the top?
The gable.
Knocked himself unconscious on the gable. Buggy fanboy goes with me to battle every day of the week.
Dang.
Perfectly. He can't walk the next day because his knees are all seized.
I only need him one day. I don't care what he's like the next day. I need him one day. I need him to back my play one day at Congress. Me and that guy, Oriole Landscaping, can bring his friggin' Tilt Rotator fanboys to the stage. I wonder if someone knows. Like, hey, Paper King says you and him are fighting on the stage.
Is that what LO is on the Wednesday there? You're going to be...
Me and the guy from Oriole Landscape are going to go toe to toe. I've actually been in the same room with that guy a couple times. He's a fair-sized guy.
Yeah, he is.
And he runs a really successful, highly efficient company. So he's probably the time to go to the gym and train for Taekwondo. Meanwhile, I'm crawling around under the hook truck trying to figure out why the fucking bin won't come off it for the 100th time this year. Probably getting my ass kicked by Peter from Oriole Landscaping. Fucking black belt in Taekwondo, motherfucker. Probably does yoga. Seems very enlightened.
Yeah.
He is. He's a nice guy. I met him. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Who are you taking to battle with you, Mike?
My initial thought was the Tilt Rotator guys, because in order for them to pay for the real Tilt Rotator, they probably had to do some pretty shady stuff to get that money. And I want those shady characters on my side. They're more willing to do things that guarantee us a victory.
Okay, I can see that angle.
Tilt Rotator guys are probably owner-operators. Buggy guys are... They're the
For the record, I just spent like 2 days running a buggy.
Yeah.
I liked running the buggy. It's good for your wrist strength, man. You can build up some serious grip strength running a buggy.
No, does yours have a seat? Do they all have seats?
No.
Some buggies have seats. The
Kubotas have seats, yeah.
Yeah.
So Kubota makes two buggies. They make one buggy that's like just a big wheelbarrow and you dump shit out of it. And then they make another buggy that dumps side to side, but it's flat and you can fill it up with interlock. It'll like transport like an entire skid of interlock.
Really?
Yeah.
But you have to load it on there before you can transport it.
Well, I guess you could do it with a tilt rotator and a grapple.
Yeah, I suppose.
You just bragged about how you can pile shit.
I want to get one of those really big, like off-road tracked dump trucks, like a 5-ton.
Yeah, they're cool.
I need one of those, but I don't want to spend $100,000 because I don't think
Steal one.
steal one.
Well, I don't-
I've seen some cool ones.
How else you get one? I don't know unless you spend
I don't know.
$100,000.
I don't know.
Those things are sick.
Yeah,
I just
they're
saw
awesome.
the sale on Facebook, but it was like 10 years old and used, and it was still like 75 grand.
Yeah, insane.
And it was a Yanmar.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I've seen too is a Yanmar. I haven't seen a lot of
It was sick.
companies. Yeah,
It was weird, ugly green and yellow.
yeah, like a seafoam green.
Yes, seafoam. Love that description.
Seafoam.
Seafoam green.
That could make me some money, but only if it didn't cost me way more.
Are you going to
than
fill it up
value.
with your tilt rotator?
Yes, or the loader, or anything, just to get it into. I don't know. It depends how fast they go too. Right?
What job do you want to do with it? Like, what are you going to do with it?
I
Like,
want to do
looked-
topsoil jobs with it.
I looked at it and I was like, that thing is sick. And then I was like, oh, what are you going to do with it? Like, that's how I looked at everything. What are we
Yeah.
going to do with it?
We have a lot of topsoil work where the truck can't always go where you need them to go.
Hmm.
And instead of bombing it in with the skid steers, which is very time consuming, maybe we could bomb it into that thing and then drive that thing and dump it and push it with the dozer or something.
That's like a whole, that is buggy 101.
giant buggy, right?
Giant buggy 101.
Buggy. So
Giant
then we had
buggy
we had a topsoil slinger for a while, and everybody think that's the ticket, but it's really
Yeah.
not all that great if the operator's not phenomenal. Right?
People think that you can sling it in and not rake it, and that's not
Yeah.
true. That's never happened. I mean, even the best operator has lumps, and like a really good operator can minimize the raking, but not eliminate the rake.
And it sort of packs it down when it hits the ground, but not. I don't know.
I don't love slinging so.
Have you ever slung Riverstone?
I stripped an entire playgrounds slinging pea gravel when I was a kid. I think I told that story on here before.
Yeah.
I don't remember
We've
that.
slung Riverstone. It's got to be dangerous. It's got to be illegal. That's got to be a violation. Or something.
When I was like 15, they said you got to go meet this truck and install all the pea gravel around this expensive playground equipment. I said, cool. So I went there and I directed this, and I'd never been near a slinger truck before in my life. So I'm like, yeah, turn it up, spray it. Pea gravel flying everywhere. Filled the whole playground, thought I was a hero. And then someone pointed out that we stripped all the paint off every single playground equipment.
Oh my god!
You see, Chad knows how expensive playground equipment is.
Wow! Holy shit!
Yeah, I was like 15.
How expensive you think playground equipment should be, and then times it by 4.
Wow.
At least, yeah. That was,
That's an
it was-
insurance thing. That's not anyone.
I would, it's like when I first started and no one told me we were working in a neighborhood and I dumped a whole load of mulch on top of a water box. And then someone scooped into the mulch and ripped the water box right out of the fucking main. That was super fun.
What's a water box?
The little round water boxes in the driveways where you shut the water on and off.
Oh, for like a sprinkler system?
No, for the main water main for
The
the
water
house.
shut off valve.
Water shut off valve.
Oh, we just have standpipes that come up out of the ground.
Yeah, and it has a little cap on it. When you unscrew the middle of it and you stick the thing down and shut it on and off.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's just.
Yeah, we call them water boxes here.
we got little standpipes.
What do you call it, Mike?
Water shut off valve.
What do you call it, Chad?
Standpipe.
Standpipe?
Yeah.
So I guess that's the difference between Kitchener, Cornwall, and Joshua.
Yeah.
Anyways, I dumped it on the water box and someone scooped into the pile with a backhoe, ripped it right off the fucking main.
Wow.
It was
Yeah, but you
awesome.
just pretend it.
No, I didn't tell anyone I dumped the
Did it
mulch.
back there and
Like stupid idiot dumping mulch there. Fucking moron. Walked away.
I had one of my guys at one time. It was a water main shut off, so it was like the 6-inch,
Yeah, big one.
right? And he filled that with gravel. Like he busted the top off and then filled it with gravel. So we had to shop vac the gravel out for hours to try and I'm like, I'd never done this before. So I called the GC. I'm like, what is it supposed to look like when I'm done? He's like, well, you're not supposed to be able to see. You won't be able to see the bottom of the pipe. I'm like, how do I know it's done? And he goes, you'll just know.
You'll just know.
You'll just know. Okay, but I think I'm done. So
a long time ago in a different life, my brother-in-law, I guess we'll just refer to him as ex-brother-in-law. He started working with us when he was 14, and we were doing this like re of a underground parking garage deck, and so we were working like hardcore downtown Toronto, and his job was to sit at the corner all day and reverse the soil trucks down the street, the one-way street, the wrong way, and then dump them. And so he dumped the first truck, dumped the second truck. The third truck he couldn't dump where the other two went because we didn't move the soil fast enough. So he pulled it ahead and he dumped it there without looking, and he dumped it on top of the catch basin. So I came out of the out of the building and looked at the pile, and it was like a volcano. And I was like, well, that's not good. That sewer is, that catch basin is 100% full of soil. So we handed him the spoon. Have either of you guys ever had your hands on the spoon?
No.
What's this? No, like
that was pre-vacuum. This happened before before vacuum trucking was a thing. So it's like a 20-foot handle, and it's got like a spoon on the bottom. So you dig out as much as you can, and then you start digging with the spoon till you clean out.
No. Oh my God.
Called the spoon.
Wow.
So he used to sit at the corner of, I don't know, it was church and something, and he would sit at the corner all day waiting for these trucks. Because I don't know, I think we put in like 400 loads of topsoil. So he's sitting waiting for these trucks all day at the church. And he'd be sitting there with his hard hat in his lap, and people started giving him food and money because they thought he was homeless. He was just sitting at the church. So he came back. He's like, I got a granola bar and $10. I'm like, oh my God.
That's awesome.
$10.
Oh, that was so long ago. Yeah. He's like almost 40 now. He worked with me when he was like 14. Man, that's scary. He worked with me when he was like 14. Fuck. That was I remember him. I got a granola bar. Holy fuck, man. That was when Chewy soft granola bars first came out. They were a big deal, man.
Really?
Didn't have to have that hard, crunchy granola. Chewy soft granola.
Yeah.
Is this the worst hour now?
Yeah, we're well into it. I think we can classify, I think this whole podcast as our worst.
Not the best effort.
It wasn't bad. I think
it was all right.
After we stopped talking about the Landscape Ontario schedule that's late or that is irrelevant completely.
That's
I
late
think
once you listen to it.
we grew some wings after that.
Well, basically, the schedule just repeats itself day after day, but in different order.
Oh.
But we made sure to repeat the schedule each day.
All 3 days. Oh, yeah.
Are you guys taking any classes? Are you going to take any classes at LO?
No.
I taught classes there before.
Did you?
Yeah.
I did.
Efficiency?
No. Never let me.
How to use a
What did I teach?
new
What
level.
did we talk about there? We talked once about leveraging social media. And then we posted all over our social media before that we were going to kill a goat live at our seminar. So then Congress moved our seminar to the very last seminar that they were doing.
Awesome.
Not even joking about that, because they thought we might actually kill a goat. And so what we did was we got a goat piñata, and then we filled it with red candy, and then we bashed the shit out of it at the end of the seminar, and then threw red candy all over the seminar. What did I do the next year? I did it 1 year we talked about how to keep long-term employees, because most of the employees at Lake Ridge were long-term. So we talked about how to find and keep long-term employees. which was an interesting topic seminar. I did that for that was an hour and a half. And I talked once about something else to do with social media. I don't remember what it was. Maybe it wasn't the original topic. It was phase 2 or something. But I did 3 things at Congress. I got to have a little pass that said speaker.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Do you get a pass this year?
What?
Judge, or what's your title this year?
Panelist.
Panelist. You get a placard that says panel?
I don't know. I feel like someone might regret that decision.
Are we going to do another Finest Hour panel takeover?
We should. Just continually ask me irrelevant questions with no value. When they introduced me, I'm Mike, and I'm here to provide no value. If you need value, talk to Peter. Also, if you need some backup, he's got the tilt rotator fanboys in his corner. So, just trying to think of some of the other fanboy people that could do battle. I was like, there's the vacuum lifter fanboys.
I think everybody's on board.
The concrete edge restraint.
Oh, do you take concrete edge restraint fanboys? That's a powerful group.
Yeah.
Do you take them, or do you take the hybrid edging fanboy Sam Moore 365 versus all the concrete fanboys on the planet? I could see that being a thing. Did you guys see the story about how there's like a podcast meetup or something at the Alman HQ?
Yeah.
When is that?
Well, I forget what it's called. It's January, end of January sometime.
I think I'm going to go to it.
January
Nice.
what?
January something, I don't know.
January 20th.
Did you just tell Chad he wasn't invited?
No, he was in the Dominican. He said, I'm in the Dominican.
Yeah, but it depends on the date. I think I leave. I don't know which day I leave. And
What day do you leave? You should talk about that on the podcast so someone can
Yeah.
rob your house.
yeah, I want you all to know when I
Yeah.
I remember someone once messaged me and they're like, you shouldn't tell people when you're not at home. I said, bro, my door's open. Take whatever the fuck you want. My house sucks.
My house sucks.
I did at the time.
This is January 28th of 2023, the Podcast Summit 2023.
So are we allowed to go to that?
It's open to anybody and everybody.
Should you just wander in?
I guess so, yeah.
I guess to buy a ticket?
No.
You just show up-
There's an Eventbrite link.
Did you just show up in beautiful Fairfield County and wander in?
I guess so, yeah.
I'm going to go.
Yeah, are you?
I am. I'm going to represent us there. I feel like I'm a good representation of us.
Yes.
You guys
So
think-
then, what fanboys would you take in a battle? Would you take the Kid Contractor Podcast fanboys? Or would you take the Not Our Finest Hour?
Oh, there's a lot more Kid Contract. That's like the Battle of the Alamo, bro. That's
Like
like
300.
300 versus 10 of us, and I'm Davy Crockett. Whatever the Battle of the Alamo was. You don't think we should represent ourselves at an industry podcast event?
I would love to, but I can't reschedule a family vacation.
Screw your family vacation. That's like such a weak excuse. Family vacation. Whoa, like that's important.
You're right. It's not. I worked all year for this, but
I'm going to beautiful Fairfield County to
that is a vacation. That is not.
Vacation to beautiful Fairfield County.
I think that's actually where it is. I'm not 100%. I think so, but well, you could. Who would you take with you? The Mulder Outdoor fanboys versus the Kid Contractor fanboys. I'm going with Kid Contractor because it's home base, man. You got to go with the home team.
Oh, so this is going to happen at the Podcast Summit. So yeah, he's got home base.
Well, you could. Who's going to the Podcast Summit?
I don't know. I just know that.
My question is Mr. Producer going to be there?
That's a good question.
Where is the link to this? Where did you find this?
I'll send it to the group chat here.
Send it to the group chat.
But there's not much information, to be honest. It's like an Eventbrite link, and the location is on an HQ. And
Did you guys follow that fish guy?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
That guy's such those fish are so sick. I can't get enough of them.
The koi.
Location, date, January 28th, 2023, 9 a.m. Alman HQ. Podcasters in the trades collaborating to make content with like-minded entrepreneurs.
So
I feel like I'm qualified for this.
If you go, would you go as to show up as a guest on other people's podcasts, or would you go for the Not Our Finest Hour and be a host of other people on the podcast?
What are the rules of this?
I think that's like the thing. It's a bunch of podcasters going so that guests can come and be featured on a bunch of different podcasts.
So this is free. Am I going by or is anyone else coming? Chad's not coming to this. Are you coming to this, Mike?
I don't know yet.
Okay, well, I'm registering myself. You register yourself, Mike, whenever you feel like it.
All right.
First name. Should I put Paver King?
Would you drive down there?
Yeah, it's only like 7 hours.
Oh, 7 hours.
Dude, I drive for a living.
Oh, that's true. I guess.
Driving for 7 or 8 hours is, well, I actually don't know. Google Toronto to beautiful Fairfield County.
Is that what I put into Google Maps? Beautiful Fairfield County.
Confirm email. King 1. I actually talked to Kelly about this because I said, hey, I'm thinking about going down. Do you want to come with me? And she said she would go with me. So I'm probably going to do this. Does this mean I go to be on other people's podcasts?
Either one. You can go to be on other people's podcasts, or you can go to host your own podcast. Or both, I'm sure, too. But if I don't know how many people are going to be there, to be honest. 7 hours and 45 minutes.
See, so I've got tickets. I'm in. I'm going. I'm making this happen. I am going to represent us. Even if I have to fight the fanboys alone and it won't be the first time I woke up unconscious in a parking lot. It's not funny. It's true.
Is this going to be the first time you've met the Americans hardscapers in person?
These are podcasters, not hardscapers. I don't know who it's.
Are these the first time you're going to meet them?
I've never met any of these people, no. I'm sure they have a vastly false impression of who I am as a real person. Vastly false, I would say.
Gotcha.
I'm registered as Paver King. You think they'll know who I am? They don't
They
even
might
know
not
my
know
real
you by
name.
name.
They know my real-
You should registered as. Did you register as Mike?
No, I registered as Paver King because they don't know who I am if I registered
Yeah,
as
who's
Mike.
this Mike guy?
Why is that guy coming? I bet most of these people won't even have me on. I've been on the Kid Contractor podcast when it first started. I haven't been on that one. The rest of the people do not invite me on it. You don't see Scheller inviting me on his new Backyard Conversations podcast. He's too busy with Andy Mulder.
Ooh.
I'm just joking. Andy's a way better guest than me. If I was like episode 3 of my podcast and I had a choice between me and Andy, I would eliminate myself from the podcast to put Andy. Andy is an awesome guest. I'm just saying. But
Why don't the American Hardscapers come to LO Congress ever? Why is that not a thing?
they're too busy with H&A.
I guess so.
Conag. Is that what it's called? Conag.
Are you going to go to Conag?
Kelly and I were talking about it.
Really?
I was at a client's office today, and the 2 owners are going. No, that was yesterday. I was at the client's office. The 2 owners were going down. They asked me if I was going. I was like, feel like our companies are in really different places. You could write it off. I'm like, I could if I had any money. You're fucking right. I could write that shit off.
If there's money to write off, there
Yeah.
could possibly.
Listen, man, I'm going to be selling bins for scrap soon. So, like, scrap metal value. We'll survive the winter. Maybe not the spring, but the winter. I'm going to come start planting trees with Chad and Cornwall with my guys next year.
What did I see? So I get notifications when jobs that I might be interested come up online.
Get some jobs in Durham in Eastern Ontario, and then we'll do them for you.
Here's one for us. Planting 90,000 trimling aspen seedlings. Think we could do that?
Where is it?
Government of Yukon.
Sure.
Make a weekend of it.
Make
It's
a
only
week.
90,000 seedlings. They're probably stakes. Have you ever planted
We used to cut,
stakes?
one of the worst things we used to cut the cuttings. Have you ever done cuttings?
Yeah,
Like,
that's stakes.
is that what okay, it's called stakes,
Yeah. Yeah.
Willow stakes, red osier
Yeah.
stakes.
Yeah.
We used to call them cuttings.
Yeah.
In my dirtbag video, there's a picture of me standing in front of a truck with like 10,000 cuttings in the back of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you just go and you pop them in.
One of the worst things I ever did in my whole life, because I was just so desperate for fucking money, it seems like the real thread of my life, right? We had this job where we had to do 30,000 cuttings, but we had to make them. So we had to tromp through this plowed field to a low area that was filled with red osiers, and we had to do all the cuttings ourselves and then carry them back through the plowed field. But we were doing this in like March, and the field was frozen. So you're like walking through a frozen field for days on end carrying cuttings. Fucking horrible.
So they didn't give you a 4-wheeler or something to?
Oh, that
Like a
would have been.
wagon?
There was so back then those like side by side things weren't a thing.
Oh,
It was
horse
like
and buggy.
Honda
Maybe.
3-wheelers. Honda 3-wheelers, baby. Death
Sure.
machines. Little death machines.
3-wheeler. You didn't have a 3-wheeler? Where
Little
was your
Honda-
buggy then?
I wish I. In retrospect, there was probably a lot of easier ways to do that I just didn't.
Yeah.
That's what I was told to do. So I'm a loyal soldier. I went and did it.
Yeah.
And we wonder why I have a screwed up back and knees now. I fell at the dump. I fell at the dump the other day and smashed my head and knocked myself unconscious and laid in the mud for a while.
At the dump.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Do you guys have giant vultures? That's your dump? Turkey vultures? That's your dump?
Turkeys.
I don't live in Cornwall.
We got them
No.
in the kitchen.
You should
Yeah.
see these things. They're fucking insane.
We don't have
They're-
turkey. Well, I've never
They're
seen.
huge. They make... you can't even describe them. They're
They
big.
run really goofy.
They're big. They look ridiculous.
We had them in our yard back in my Flyer days, and I used to try to chase them in the forklift and see them run. And they would jump on top of bundles, and
Yeah. Giant. Just giant. They look like something out of a movie.
I feel like I'm missing something here. So you're
Yeah.
telling me at your fill dump you have turkey vultures?
Yeah. Giant turkey vultures. Like, no word of a lie, these things are probably 60 pounds. Like, they're...
We don't have anything like that I've seen.
Really? Okay. And they're the only place you can find them here is at the dump.
At the fill dump?
At the garbage dump.
No, I'm talking about a fill dump
What's a fill dump? Just like
where you
dirt?
dump clean fill.
Oh, but there's no difference in Cornwall. If you don't want it, it all goes to one place.
it all goes to one hole.
Yeah.
Uh,
Phil is.
Oh, to work in Cornwall.
There's a billion places you can put Phil in Cornwall. We're getting a Great Wolf Lodge, actually.
Really?
Yeah, that's huge, especially for Cornwall.
How does Great Wolf Lodge look around Ontario and be like, Cornwall? That's the fucking place.
I
The
have
distribution
no-
mecca of Ontario.
There's
That's
no
where we're gonna
reason
put it.
for us to get a Great
Do you-
Wolf Lodge.
Do you think that having a Great Wolf Lodge in your town, though, it ruins the experience of a Great Wolf Lodge?
I've never been to a Great Wolf Lodge.
Because you don't have to drive to the Great Wolf Lodge? Is the drive part of the experience? That's the question.
Being elsewhere.
Yes, being elsewhere. If you live in Cornwall and you're lodging in Cornwall, that seems kind of like you could just drive there for the day. Why would
Yeah.
you stay overnight? You should be more excited about a Great Wolf Lodge in Ottawa.
I'm more excited about doing the landscaping for a Great Wolf Lodge because we're going to try and get that. I could give a shit less if the pool works or if there's
Staph infection.
You should care about the pool. You should care deeply about the pool work. Please care about the pools working. It matters a lot to you at the end of the job if the pools don't work.
Yeah,
The Great Wolf Spa.
Where are the seashell pavers in this one?
The seashell pavers. I forgot about that.
At the Great Wolf Lodge.
At the Great Wolf Spa.
Yeah. So who knows? That's a couple of years away, but we'll bid it.
Why it takes multiple years to get a Great Wolf Lodge approved in Cornwall?
Oh, I'm sure.
A lot of red tape.
All sorts of red tape. No, they say completion 2026 maybe. So
2026.
Wow.
just around the corner. You think about
Have
it.
you ever landscaped a distribution center?
No. I would
Seems like you should be in that market.
No, actually, I lied.
What
did
about
the
your?
trees.
You have no root density if you haven't landscaped a distribution center.
No, I did the trees, but the GC did their own topsoil at the distribution center, and their own hydro seed that never grew.
So, if I go to the I have tickets, so now I'm required to go to the podcast summit. Should I discuss on everyone else's podcast root density? I feel like it's a topic that's not really covered.
Raising your rates.
I need to raise my rates. I need to raise my rates and increase my root density.
You seem like you've had a week, Mike. Like
You seem tired.
someone drug you through the mud this week, it seems.
Well, I woke up unconscious at the dump, so there you go.
Maybe that's it.
Nothing beats a good smashing your skull at the dump. That actually happened last Thursday. I was like flustered and trying to do three things at once, and I had to feel the skid steer that was at the dump. And the guy who was running the skid steer for us at the dump, he had forgotten his lunch, so he went home to get his lunch because there's no place to get a lunch at the fill dump. And I jumped into the truck, and I was looking the wrong way, and I hit ice because it was like Friday, right after it snowed. And my feet went out from under me, and my head smashed against the bottom of my door. And then I laid there in the mud for a while. And then I woke up, and I was like, wow, I'm really cold, and I'm in the mud. This sucks ass. And then I fueled up the skid steer, and I drove away. It was awesome. Then I went back to plowing the snow at my yard for 3 fucking days. Because it barely snowed anywhere, but at our yard, there's 18 inches of heavy, wet snow. I had to dig every trailer out and shovel it off. And because shoveling off trailers in the middle of the winter is the biggest pain in the ass. But if you don't do it, all the wood rots, right?
Mm.
Do you
You
shovel
get
all
one of
the
those tilt rotator brooms.
I feel like
Guys,
we have our own fully verified blue check mark tilt rotator fanboy on this podcast. Blue check mark.
I'm looking around. I don't see anyone.
You know what I have noticed though? When you're with other tilt rotator fanboys, you don't mention that yours is a steel wrist, no matter how much they mention theirs as an NCON. Is that because you're intimidated by NCONs?
No.
You don't want to be the kid.
that-
You don't want to be the kid in the locker with the steel wrist.
I don't. Maybe one's better than the other. I don't know. Maybe I have the lesser brain. Maybe you're right.
Steel
But
wrists are popular in Europe, I thought.
Yes, I think they're European. Actually, our next one.
But NCON's from Sweden.
Yeah, I don't think any of them are from here. Actually, I think we're getting the first. We're gonna try. I think Grib. next.
What the
for our
fuck is
next
that?
rotation. What's that?
I've never even heard of a grib.
Me neither.
GRYB. They're North American tilt rotators, I think.
Have you
I
ever
don't
thought
know.
about a roto tilt?
Yeah.
A guy just offered me a smoking deal on a roto tilt for an 8-ton.
A smoking deal.
Absolutely smoking deal.
Is it new or is it used? Like
A demo.
yeah. I think you can't go wrong regardless.
I just had a discussion about how even though my 8-ton has 5,000 hours on it, it's still worth it to put a tilt rotator on.
How much is it going to cost you? Like, you can take the tilt rotator.
I don't
and
want
move
it to cost me anything.
Being
That's why I don't
after.
have one already. Waiting for a sponsorship. Sitting over here dry, waiting for a sponsorship, never happening. Probably because I say and do outrageous stuff. I don't keep on point or whatever. I'm not a sponsorable person.
You don't think so?
No. I say too much stupid shit, and then people would be like, "We can't support that guy."
A certain company
I
will trust you with their brand, their entire brand, their company brand. Conperm.
That was idiotic.
So do you really think you did more harm than good for that company?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Dude, I wasn't in a good place for that year.
Do you think he made more people? Do you think he made more people loyal to that company? Brought more business to that company?
I made people fatter.
With the maple donuts
Maple
sandwiches?
donut sandwiches, the Jamaican beef patties, the fucking. I don't know. Maybe like. I actually had a lot of fun there. I had a lot of fun doing that stuff. I couldn't see doing it for year 2. I think one of it was they said no more events, and I was like, what the fuck am I going to do then? I'm out. I don't know. I don't know. Would you guys have bought Permacon from me if I was the rep?
Yeah. Here's my take on this. That company has always seemed to be so straight laced, so
Yes.
want to be cutting edge, so modern looking. And you were the opposite of that, sort of
Yep.
like more transparent, more fun. I didn't see a lot of fun. I mean, how can you tell if a company's fun? I guess, right? But like catalogs are all, I don't know. It was a lot of show.
It's a clean cut modern
Yeah,
lines.
it's a clean business model, which is great, right?
And it's a corporation.
Yeah.
One of the biggest corporations in the world, right? So it's all like I think that I think this isn't about them, but I think all big corporations have a bit of a hollow feel to them. Because it's just a big corporation, and I think that anything that I do generally doesn't feel hollow. It probably feels ridiculous, or at a bare minimum, it's honest, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like maybe more people were aware of the brand. I don't know. I feel like I tried hard. I put a lot of shit out, man.
I can imagine.
There's one video of me like climbing through a cornfield to announce a corn roast. I'm like fucking fighting through the corn, and we're having a corn roast, baby. That was the year I didn't. In my life, I never knew that the corn season was so short. So like we had this corn roast, and I was like, fuck, a lot of people came to that. We should do a corn roast next week. But corn was over, and there was no corn to be had. And we had to drive to like 500 supermarkets to find a measly 30 cobs of corn, and then sort of downplay the corn at the corn roast because we didn't really have any corn. Those are the kind of things that happen to you when you don't really know what you're doing. Oh, I think that the one event we had was sold out, and people were sitting on stairs to go to that event in Vaughan the one year. The second year was like that was I thought that was pretty pretty good to have that many people at that event. You know, I think the whole team did a fantastic job of promoting that event and getting people. We had lots of good successes when I was there. I think that by and large, if it had been like I think I probably would have got fired sooner or later for something that I did. Realistically, there's a lot of rules, right? Like I don't respond well to rules and people telling me I can and can't do stuff.
Did somebody above you ever say, Mike, tone it down with this, or
No,
nothing, eh?
not
Wow.
once. No. Maybe like the energy drinks, but maybe.
Not the beers. Nothing non-alcoholic beers.
I think one time we got in shit for that. I think there was one event where we bought the trailer and we opened it all up and then we had a fake bar and we were like mixing non-alcoholic drinks and had a DJ, and that was when that guy, the Son of Sand, was working with us from Technoseal. He came in when he was working for Technoseal. He came and did an interview with me. And it was supposed to be like a Between Two Ferns style interview where I was asking him like really awkward, weird questions. It's on my Instagram. I should share it. It's super funny.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people watched it at the time, but it's like really. And I was asking him stuff like, so you're the son of sand. Were you born on a beach? And he was trying to talk about corporate stuff and sand and like he was trying to sell sand. And I was asking, it's such a good, it was the first or second year I was out on my own. And Greg's a great guy. He's a really great guy. And he just came to like kind of play along, but he got kind of blindsided by me. And then like 2 weeks later, he got fired. And now he works for Dynametro? Dynamex? It's a different sand. Dynapro or something, maybe? He's still on Instagram, the Son of Sand. That was his name, the Son of Sand. No one got it. You guys get it? Son of Sand?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I don't got it.
Son of Sam, the serial killer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. It's like literally the guy was a corporate person who named his Instagram account after a serial killer.
And now his career is just about as dead as.
No, he works. He's very successful at Dyna.
Yeah.
He sells a lot of. He sells a lot of sealers and shit. Now that Cunningham's out of Alliance, he's coming for Alliance's business for sure.
Ooh.
He's coming for Alliance's, but he's coming for the G2, man. Hard.
Yeah.
Son of Sand puts in his time, man. He's a good guy. I felt bad for him that our because I was going to launch a series of those videos, and then it was something that I started and then immediately got bored of and never followed through on. But it was called Between Two Fenders, and we used to sit on the trailer, and it was interviews between two fenders. We should do a series of Between Two Fenders interviews at Congress. We should bring a trailer down.
Yeah.
Do a series of Between Two Fenders interviews and record them. If it was fun,
Nice.
asking super awkward questions to people, and it was I think we only did the one Between Two Fenders. There's another video of him when they brought out that NOFH sand. That's on my Instagram. I think it was when Reels first came out. It has a lot of views, like maybe 20, and it's one of the funniest videos I ever posted online. It's him and we were like, NOFH. It's not like those gangsters from Mexico and all the narcos. And he was like trying to legitimately sell this set. I'm gonna tag you guys. That video was the best. It was so, and then he brought these like bright yellow fucking dress shirts that were way too small, and they had the collars turned up, and they were installing the sand. It was awesome. It was. I forgot how much fun Greg was till we thought like. There's like, I think there's like 4,000 posts on my Instagram. Or something. It's ridiculous. Like,
I remember you making that video. It was like a backyard installing with flagstone. That one comes to memory. And speaking of something that we talked about previously on this podcast, your video on Nostra or whatever that was with Rhinoceros. So I emailed them and they're looking for the video. So hopefully I can get the video of you with the Rhinoceros company and we could react to it live on this podcast.
So you emailed them and said, I need this video?
Yeah.
What did they say? They actually emailed you back?
Yeah, so they said, good morning. I do remember the so I asked them, so I'll read my email first. I'm looking for a specific show from your program and wondering if you can help me track it down. It was a show, I believe, in the early 2010s that featured Rhinoceros, a paver and wall manufacturer, building a retaining wall. I don't know if that's enough to go off of, but any help you can provide would be greatly appreciated and would mean a lot to me. So they sent me an email back. I do remember the segment, and we will look for it. Can you tell me who you are and why you want it?
Can you tell me who you are?
Tell me who you are. What you should email them back and say is, do you know who I am in this industry? I am a hardscaper account. You got to know who I am in this industry. Do you think they'll actually? So I searched for that on their YouTube channel for a long time, and I never found it. So maybe I found parts of the segment, but not the part where I was talking about the rhinoceros.
I couldn't even find like anything to do with it, so I just thought that's when I asked you in the group chat, like what was the name? So I found their contact information and emailed them. They got back like right away to me, so they must have not a lot to do.
They can work on my refund.
Refund? Oh no! I didn't email the rhinoceros company. It's right to the program, the TV station.
Not the company itself.
How's that going for you? You got that refund?
No.
You know what story? You know what story? You know what story you never finished, and I feel a bit safer talking about now because of recent events. The story about the synthetic base and the joint compound.
Yes.
Do you want to know? Well, I'll tell you that we got absolutely nowhere with that because the rep hasn't responded to my messages 2 or 3 times now.
But what was the issue? You never even told us what the issue was.
So this sand or this resin, we were told it was okay to install on synthetic base.
Yes.
The problem that I can see now after going through the whole thing is that if you've ever put like a 6.5 by 13, we call them Twinkies, small rectangles.
Yes. Yeah.
Those have some movement on a synthetic base, right? Like if you were to walk on them.
Yes.
On a synthetic base,
I
there's
agree.
some movement.
Yeah.
And in order for this resin to work, there can be no movement in the base. Right?
Yeah.
So
because the resin doesn't stick to the pavers.
Correct. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a scientist, but
no, it doesn't. There's lots of videos of people. There's lots of videos of people peeling it. Like doing Lipton relays with the resin is a fucking dream.
Yeah. But this job as a whole, having that resin as the joint compound on a synthetic base, whenever everything is a Twinkie or a small rec or whatever, it just doesn't. It's something doesn't
lock
work.
them
Right?
in.
Yeah, every block is independent. There's nothing that seals the whole thing together. It's just not working right. When we were told it would, right?
Is the whole job 6.5 by 13s?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
in a herringbone or in a running bond?
No, it's stack pattern.
Oh.
Stack bond?
Stack bond. Yeah, totally.
6.5 by 13 stack bond. That's not a
Yeah.
strong, because that's also not a strong pattern to begin with.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Because there's no overlap.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. But that still doesn't
Do you
Despite
think
the
if
fact
you
that
had,
we were
do you
told it
think
was
if you had
okay.
used standard sand, it would have been fine?
Absolutely. If we were to use,
Because the
like,
reason you did resin is because you wanted the pool deck to be level, right?
no, the client wanted this resin sand
Mm.
because why? Oh, because there was such a pitch on the breezeway. So basically, the driveway goes from the road, I want to say 100 feet down the driveway through the breezeway, which would have been a giant washout zone, right? For this like channel of water just to come down the driveway and through the breezeway into the backyard. And it would have just taken all the sand with it over time. So he wanted this resin sand to mitigate that.
See, I anticipated your problem with this whole thing to be that the water was going through because the resin sand is very permeable. It works amazing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, like it does do a phenomenal job.
I anticipated your problem to be that the water was going through too quickly, that the synthetic base wasn't prepared to deal with the level of water coming through the resin. That's what I anticipated your problem to be when you first brought this up. I understand what your problem is now and why it is. That's not my anticipation was that the channels in the synthetic
the little holes in the
weren't enough to handle the amount of water that comes through, because that resin stuff is super wicked permeable.
Yeah, it is. It's phenomenal, and I've used it on flat pool decks, and it's just incredible. But in this application with these small pavers, something doesn't work, and the more it's walked on or used, or the more the resin compound is breaking down and like allowing the stones to like chatter.
Yes.
Because
did you pre-compact?
No. On what, a synthetic base?
Wow.
How do you?
Dude, it doesn't matter what.
Yeah. No, we installed as per the specifications on the tub and what we were shown in our
live demo.
Live demo. Yeah, it was. So, I mean, everything was done correctly. It's just. And I'm not knocking the product, right? It's just.
No, I know you're not. Yeah.
This is something that can be a real fucking issue for somebody if they're doing something similar.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're going to use a resin compound, I wouldn't do it again on a synthetic base. Regardless if it's just a small rectangle, if it's a 3-piece, and that's just me. If they're telling you do it and you want to go for it, I mean go for it. But I wouldn't do that again.
I think though that once you start having a mass application of any new product, there's going to be things that everyone like. I love the product too, and it's not a knock on the product, like the way you're talking about it at all. Yeah. I think whenever you have a mass application of a new product, everyone's going to hit bumps in the road, things that weren't anticipated. Like, I seriously doubt someone was sitting around thinking, if I do a 6.5, if someone's doing a 6.5 by 13 stack bond, that this, like, it wouldn't have been something that occurred to me if you said you were doing that.
Yeah, me either. But now I can see after the fact, like, oh, I can see how in theory that might be an issue. And now it is an issue. But, and it's the golden question, who's responsible now for that issue?
You're the landscaper. We're responsible for everything always.
Everything always. Even if we were told by the rep that it can be installed in this product.
In the grand scheme of life, it doesn't matter. I'm just joking. Like when I say that, I'm joking. I think it is an interesting. How does it break down?
How does it
does the responsibility break down 50-50? Like that's the thing. Like I as on the landscaper side of things, as the landscaper, I feel like if someone authorized you to do it, if someone sent an email or made a verbal commitment that this was going to be okay, they should bear responsibility for it.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't ask the question, then you bear responsibility for it.
Yeah. No, I was mindful of the fact that, because I didn't know, is a synthetic base compatible with this resin, or if I can I do this, or is this not going to work? Is there anything that I don't know, because I'm not the engineer, I'm not the salesman, I'm not any of these other people that should have the answers.
Yeah.
Right. But
so did you ask? Did you ask before you did though?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that you should at least. Why, if you asked and inquired to a company that makes both products, I'm assuming these are matching products.
Correct. Yes.
If that company makes both products and that company authorized you to do it, then I think that that company needs to bear responsibility for the aftermath. If you ask the question.
Yeah. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not the end of the world. Like, we'll make it right. It's not something that I'm going to lose sleep over. We're going to take care of the situation. But the life experience or the career experience that I've gotten from this is not going to be a mistake that we'll be repeating. That's for sure. Right?
Yeah.
And that's the most valuable part. Or hopefully someone listening can say, holy shit, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That really
So what if it was big slabs? Would you do it then?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like
I don't know if I would install big slab on synthetic base though. That's just me.
I did it.
Yeah, I've done it a couple
When
times.
when big slabs first came out and they enthralled me in like 2014.
Yeah.
No one else was touching them because they were scared. We were putting them in, and we put them in on a synthetic base because it was around a pool, and I wanted to use. We did it a lot of with the slabs on synthetic base because I wanted to be able to walk on the base to put the slab in.
With the 2-man and the sucker.
And then you could set it down and you could slide it into place, and you didn't have to worry about.
Yeah.
You know, it just seemed like a. And I think
Did you?
we were re-enreeing a pool. So because we were re-enreeing a pool, as opposed to doing a mass excavation and getting in all the pool pipes and hoses and stuff, we cut the grade down, put down a bit of HPV, used a synthetic base, and it saved us from a mass excavation. That's one of the reasons we used it.
Yeah. Did you find there was some movement on that large slab with the synthetic base? Could you tell?
Not after we sanded it, because this, like traditional sand.
Yeah, traditional sand.
When you walk on it, if the slab's a bit rocky, the sand will bleed under the slab. Yeah. And then it will
strip. Cracks in 2 years.
That's maybe one thing that's missing.
Yeah.
But that's maybe one thing that's missing from your stack bond with the resin, is that I think with all those synthetic base things, when you're using that, when you are compacting the sand goes into all the little things and sort of creates more of an even surface on a synthetic base.
No, that's true too.
But the resin will never do. It's never going to bleed under because you did your pre-compaction, obviously, because you're a top-notch contractor.
I like to think so.
Well, we like to think so. I mean, I don't want to be associated with someone who's not.
Yeah. This is a disclaimer that I'm not knocking the product. It just didn't do what we anticipated it would do on this job, right?
Yeah, but not all all new products are going to have hiccups.
Yeah.
It's more about making sure that the hiccup doesn't get repeated over and over and over again.
I'm surprised that hasn't come up sooner.
Or maybe it has.
Yeah, you probably don't do 500 Instagram posts about it.
I didn't make one single bad Instagram post about that.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about the manufacturer of those two products.
Yeah.
Isn't going to make a post about it. They're going to tell people moving forward, don't do it, but they're not going to
don't do that.
Make a post about it. I guess they won't. I don't think so.
I would absolutely use the resin again, just not in that.
I love the
resin.
Not
in that scenario, right? Like I do
love the resin.
Great.
Would you use it for a driveway?
Now that you can? I don't know. I
have it going in a driveway in the spring. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. I quoted it in the driveway for the spring because I fucking hate sand. I hate it. I love resin. Fucking love resin. If I could marry resin, I would marry it. I will marry resin.
Really?
No, I just like it because it's just so far it hasn't let me down.
Yeah, this has been the only bad experience with it, other than the time. Every time I think it's going to go in quickly, I'm let down because it does not go in quickly.
Yeah.
It's everybody in their rubber boots for hours and hours, and 2 hoses, 3 hoses going, and
Sucky pants, rubber boots. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck
Everybody sore. The back of your neck is sore. Your back is sore.
Why is the back of your neck sore?
Because you're looking down at the hose and the resin pile, and you're wetting it as best you can, and you need almost need one of the wands.
The way you're wetting the pile as best you can. It makes it sound like you failed at adding water to the resin a lot of times. It was best I can. I just I can't get this water onto the resin out of the hose. It keeps spraying haphazardly around the yard. It escapes from me and it takes off. It attaches itself miscellaneously to the sprinkler. I don't even know how that happens.
Have you ever been underwhelmed with the client's hose pressure?
Oh, yeah.
Because that is what I mean whenever you say you're wetting it as best as you can.
I saw this.
And you say, ma'am, do you have another hose? And she's like, there's one in the garage. And it takes 5 hoses to get from the hose bib in the garage to the job site. And by then you have no pressure. So you have 2 hoses with minimal pressure. And you're like, how the fuck am I going to do this? So we bring in the water truck. And that's what I mean as best you can.
And all
this stuff in.
All the pressure in Cornwall is going to the distribution center, right?
That's it. They have high toilets there, so we can't get
water pressure's headed right to directly to the. I like the fact that today on the How to Hardscape podcast, everyone liked my microphone.
Yeah, everybody really compliments that.
It's obviously cool. It's doing exactly what it was supposed to do.
Somebody immediately recognized that your sound quality was better than any other time.
Yeah. Well, and it looks cool, which is mostly why I bought it. So.
Yeah.
Is it Bluetooth?
No.
Oh.
My computer's old. Microphone. But your computer doesn't let anything plug into it.
No. It's got those Mac ports. I don't know, Thunderbolt something.
Oh, is it a Mac computer?
Yeah.
Oh, what a fuck show that'll be for you.
I know.
No, I had to. So the past couple of weeks, and I don't know if I've shared this with you guys, I've been using since the podcast started, I've been using my laptop. And it's like a touchscreen laptop, but it's still a laptop. And it's constantly opening and closing every single fucking application in the background while we're trying to talk, and the screen's popping up and disappearing and everything. And I almost put it over my knee today. Like that was it. So I'm more than happy to see one screen for the entire.
So you went out and bought this just for this podcast?
Yes, that and the fact that my other Mac is probably 10 years old now, and it's all clogged up with drawings of things that my kid wanted to color or something like that, and my wife's got pictures of the family and all that stuff. And
so that's
the new dedicated work computer, and this is an NDL computer.
NDL computer.
Yeah.
Dang.
Business write-off.
I was going to say, this is you, right?
I told you we got to get those tax write-offs in before the end of the year, December 31st. So actually, no, this airs after the tax deadline cutoff for me, but I was going to say I need absolutely every cool tool that I can buy, that anybody can recommend, to get on this year's before my tax deadline.
Oh,
I think I do it every year.
Those pipes with chains.
No, thank you. We buy gas bars, right? round bars.
Why aren't you
for,
getting
I don't know.
yourself a buggy?
I don't know if it would do. Cause I told you we have the hopper for our MT100.
I think that you would find out that you would crush a buggy. And right now, Bobcat of Hamilton has 50 Candy Coms on sale. They're having a Candy Com blowout.
Candy Com.
That's the buggies. Aren't they called Candy Coms?
Canny,
no.
CANY, com.
We have
Candy Com?
Quarbidi here.
Candy Com. Well, I'm telling you to go to Bobcat of Hamilton, sponsoring this episode.
Ooh.
They're not, but whatever. They made a post about it. It was really cool.
I bought a $30,000 trailer today. So
Really? 15 ton?
15 ton float.
What
Yeah,
kind?
galvanized float.
Galvanized 15 ton.
Yeah,
On juice or air?
juice.
Juice.
Juice because nobody can drive air for us.
You
None of
need
my guys.
Even that float, you're going to need an AR, right?
Yeah,
You're a guy with an AR?
fine with an AR.
You're good to go then.
So,
Because a 15 ton juice is probably good for 12 on deck. 13
Yeah.
maybe. If it's galvanized, 12 or 13 on deck.
yeah, so two 15,000 pound axles. So 30,000 pounds divided by 2.2 is about 14,000 or 14
Ton, but then you got to take the weight of the trailer away. And because it's galvanized, it's heavy,
Yeah.
right? So I'm saying you're probably good.
Galvanized weighs more than
Yeah,
painted
galvanized.
steel? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So the galvanized trailer is probably good for 12 on deck. I'm saying depends on the
Just
axle speed too.
Yeah, but it's only a 20-foot trailer, right? So
What do you want to get
Unless-
on an SVL and a 4 ton?
if possible, I don't know if it's long enough to fit them both. At 20 feet,
How long's the beaver tail?
5 feet.
So it's 25 feet.
Yes.
20-foot deck with a 5-foot beaver tail.
Yeah.
So if you put the shovel right up against the back and then hang it through between the fenders, you're using that 5
Double?
feet. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
So ours is 24 plus a 5-foot beaver tail, our smaller trailer. And you can easily put an SVL and a 4 ton on it. There's lots of room.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, ideally.
think-
But I mean, we want to be able to put the loader on it and stuff. Like stuff we have equipment that we can't move on our own. So it'll be nice to do it in-house. Especially with the new tandem.
Yeah, the tandem can pull that. You just
Yeah.
gotta put a trailer brake in it, right?
No, it's all set up. She's ready to roll. Actually, even our F750 can tow that trailer.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a nice little setup there. And we bought an SVL 75-3 this week.
That's the new one.
New Kubota. So I feel like a lot of people are going Kubota these days.
There is a lot of people going Kubota.
Like their market share is improving across
But
the
for
board.
some reason, these candy coms are gone.
They must be a hot commodity.
Maybe they were a story.
Hmm.
I swear to God, I saw them with a bunch of candy coms.
What's the price point on that? Like
They were 30 grand.
$30,000?
Yeah.
I'd rather buy a tilt rotator.
Well, you do whatever suits you best. You do whatever makes you happy.
Whatever makes it. The money makes me happy. So that's
The money
grand
makes you
scheme.
happy. I feel like this is the end of the episode.
Yeah, should we announce some sort of meetup that I can stitch to the end of the previous episode that's gonna actually be airing the week before Congress? Or are we good for the meetup?
I think we should announce the meetup the day of when we know where the meetup will be.
Okay, sounds
We
good.
know where we should announce the meetup? 3:30 Hardscape live stage, not our finest hour meetup. Come and ask as many questions as you want.
Makes
That's
sense.
when the meetup is.
That's good.
We're all gonna paint one letter of Paver King on our chest and go topless. To the and stand in the audience in a line that says Paver King.
I think you should ask every single person should ask the other two guys, what do you think of Paver King's pizza reviews? What do you think Paver King's funniest video is? What was your favorite Paver King post? And just ask the other two guys endless questions about Paver. What do you think about the Not Our Finest Hour podcast that Paver King's on? What's your favorite episode of the Not Our Finest Hour podcast? And just ask these two guys, obliterate them with questions about the Not Our Finest Hour podcast and Paver King, and just watch them get super pissed.
This is good.
And then watch me never get invited there again. Ever. That should be the meetup, though. 3:30 Hardscape Live Stage, Wednesday. I think it's on Wednesday. Did I say it was on Wednesday?
Is it the 11th?
Wednesday, January 11th, 2023, afternoon. Session starts after the Hardscape Live session, which is scheduled to end around 3:30. The meetup is at, well, you can watch the Hardscape Live session too. We are Hardscape people. Someone might be interested in that.
I'll be there.
Chad, you'll be there, but you'll for sure be there?
Yeah, we'll go for
our
dinner.
meetup. I better be there.
Yeah.
But he's staying in a hotel afterwards too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going for the 10th and then staying overnight and leaving on the 11th.
I'm staying the middle day.
I
Whatever
have
the
no
middle
idea.
day is, I'm sleeping that night.
The
All right.
Wednesday is the middle day.
Okay, we're good then.
And that's
It's Tuesday,
then-
Wednesday, Thursday.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. Chad, we'll convince some sales rep to take us out for dinner.
yeah. So you think
Yeah, resin base.
who has enough of our money?
Well, I'll just put it out there now. I'll make an Instagram post. I need someone to take. I'm a star of the Hardscape Live panel. That's what you got to understand. Like, I got pull, man. I got weight. I'm on the panel. Do you
Yeah.
know how hard it is to get yourself on a panel? Especially if
to- you had to
and
take
you're a
some of
total
those-
disaster.
Yeah.
If you're me and you're a total disaster, it's hard to get on a panel.
I think you must have sold Landscape Ontario some of the airtime there because the amount of time you took to go through that whole schedule, I'm sure there was some sort of deal there.
There's no
A
deals.
backroom deal.
Yeah.
No deals. No backroom deals, period. So,
All right.
all right, is this the end of the episode?
That's the end of the episode.
This is the end of the our even worse hour. The end is nigh. So, all right. We should give everyone a piece of advice that here, are you guys ready to hit leave? Because I'm going to give the advice. You
Should I
ready?
just hit stop recording?
No. Are you
Oh.
ready for the advice?
Yeah.
Is everyone anticipating the advice?
Yeah.
The advice is boom goes the dynamite. Bye.